I'm stood here in this remote field where this stone has long held its accolade as being the original source of the River Thames, and you can see that transcribed here quite faintly, that between 1857 to 1974, the conservators of the River Thames used this stone to mark the original spot. Now, given the recent hot and dry weather, the original source has actually shifted several miles downstream, further eastwards. So I've now travelled over 5 kilometres from the original source of the river, where there hasn't really been free-flowing water for years. Whereas where I'm stood right now, in the bed of the river, where it's completely a barren rock-filled landscape, there's usually water flowing. And it's not just because of the unprecedented summer, but also an exceptionally dry winter and spring prior, which meant that the groundwater and the reservoir levels were low to start with. And the European Drought Observatory are now saying that we are facing one of the worst droughts in 500 years. The River Thames is over 340 kilometres long and is the second longest river in the United Kingdom. It's home to 125 fish species and provides London with 2/3 of its drinking water. Now, back in the day between the 1600s and the 1800s, when the entire Thames used to freeze over, Londoners would hold frost fairs on its surface. Now, the entire Thames hasn't frozen over now since 1963, so not only is climate change making that completely unviable, after an unprecedented hot summer with temperatures soaring to over 40 degrees, we're now seeing our rivers and lakes dry up, and this part of the Thames around Gloucestershire at its source has completely vanished. Now, a drought can have extreme impacts, not only on the soil, because if there's going to be any showers, there's going to be a risk of flash flooding because they can't absorb any of that moisture or water, but also severe impacts on river aquatic ecology. Fish can be more susceptible to prey in shallower waters and also become affected by heat stress if there's no deeper, cooler waters to escape to. But it's not just ecology that's impacted, it's crops, energy production, and maybe even local business owners. I've come to the Thames Head Inn to find out more. So we're here in Gloucestershire at the Thames Head Inn, and I'm curious, it's a pretty renowned pub. Why is it called the Thames Head Inn?
Well, the source of the River Thames is 2 fields just over there, so we are the closest establishment to the actual source. But the real obvious drama that we're going through at the moment is that it's not there at the moment.
Yes, exactly. We visited the spring, it was completely dry, and also, as is the large majority of the Thames at the moment in this area, the source is not there. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I personally haven't seen anything like this. The owners have been in this pub or in this establishment for 17 years, and they've never seen it this dry. The real issue for us is that we are the start of the walk, and at the moment, you don't really see any water on that first part of the walk, which is disappointing, to say the least.
Yes, I was going to say, we did walk along a little bit of the Thames path and we saw absolutely no sign of water. I mean, do you know roughly how far the source has moved?
Well, I think I've heard different numbers, but like I said, probably about sort of at least 8 kilometres away, sort of, if not further.
Would you say that this has impacted your business in any way? Have you seen a change in the numbers of people walking through your doors because they're coming for the Thames path?
It's not a concern for us at the moment, but in the future it absolutely could be, you know.
Yeah, that's very true. It is something that we should be looking forward to in the future, and how that can impact us, because this is something that is changing in times of climate change. We are going to see these more persistent, more prolonged, dry, hot spells, and we have to look at how this can impact our future and our businesses.